A little while now I've been wanting to talk about spiritualism and atheism and how it affects collectivism in the community. A lot of folks would say, well, you're an atheist. How could you talk about spiritualism and collectivism? There's no churches. But here's some important reasons I want to touch on this. For an atheist, spiritualism is not about ghosts or goblins or magic words. What it is about is neuroplasticity. It's about using your brain, knowing that you can use your brain and improve your brain over time. Collectivism is about working together with community for continuous improvement, or continual is always improving. So what spiritual practice and community means to me in practical terms is knowing that I can become better, and that I can help other people become better. I can learn from other people on how I become better, and we can exchange this in a community. That is the essence of why I believe that free-thinking African Americans and Pan-Africans, people who look at our community and care about it and care about the culture, should be the leaders or a louder voice within this community. I have no confidence in ministers who say that they have repeated enough magic words and read an ancient book in such a way that the creator of the universe has come to them in some midnight hour, it's always the midnight hour, and given them a seed that we should follow. If the seed is reality, if they've actually run into something that's actually true, well, then they can share that with everybody. Everybody can look at that from their own perspective, and then that truth will be expressed in different ways. In other words, 2 and 2 is 4 in every single country. But once you add a religious point of view to that, that says, you know, this is something that I got from the creator of the universe because I said enough magic words, because I read the right book, and you should just take my word for it, that's BS. Now, BS can either mean belief system or bullshit, but I don't think it makes much difference which one it is, so take your pick. Now, it's worth saying that I'm shy about making these videos, but when I consider that right now there's somebody, probably within my own community, preparing to tell a group of people that he has recited enough magic words from this ancient text and therefore has come in contact with the creator of the universe. If that person is not embarrassed about that, then I'm not going to be. And I don't think that we should, as a community, be embarrassed to say, hey guys, we know it's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. I'm sorry, belief system. So let's grow up from that. Let's move on. Here's evidence, and this is something that you can prove to yourself really quickly. Imagine a community with a church on every single corner, or every other corner, every block. Just picture that, put that in your head right now. Why is it that you know you're in a slum? Automatically. Now, if these churches were connected to something that is true, this would be impossible. That's pretty obvious. Now, collectivism is a damn good idea. I believe in collectivism and affirmative action in much the same way Martin Luther King did. King spoke about the need for affirmative action when he talked about the land-grant colleges that were offered to white settlers as they stole land from Indians. And I think that you can even find information about the Department of Agriculture when that was being formed. Whites wanted blacks to remain a poorer labor class, so they wanted to affect their Department of Agriculture in such a way that the black farmers would not benefit in the same way that the white farmers did. Now, I mention that because although I don't have all the links there, that happened recently enough that surviving black farmers were still denied what they are owed. Now, if the government can collectively deny a group its due to actually help it grow, to actually help it become more prosperous as a community, well, then it's up to us to create our own mechanism of making sure that we continually improve and progress as a community. If we want that to happen, it is up to us. I am not interested in asking the government for anything because we know how that'll end up. So let's do it ourselves, and you will see ways that I am actually continuing to find ways of helping and being a part of this community that will be apparent, and it's not going to be because of a magical man or magic words. Okay. I must be descended from a Baptist minister, man. All right, now, what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Why would I say we need to be collective? Because each time we see a wave of minorities or new immigrants head to this land, we see them collect or work together to build their own communities. And the sick thing is that I'm really tired of is after we see them come in, fresh off the boat, stick together and build their communities, we have to go ask those motherfuckers for jobs. That's a little retarded, don't you think? We have been, as African Americans, have been here more, we as African Americans have been here longer than most Europeans, yet we look to them for jobs. This should be embarrassing. This is something that I'd like to stop in my lifetime. I'd like to stop it personally. Right now I'm back and forth between my own projects and working for others just to fund that, but I'm going to do my best. And well, there it is. I'm still not there. In my meager defense, if I can't get this all out and make it look good, it is about 100 degrees out there. So there hasn't been a time when I've been associated with or worked with or spoken with or hung out with a group of thinkers that I haven't learned something. So even in the times that I call for a meeting or organize a meeting or I'm willing to do that, it is not because I'm saying, ooh, wow, look at me, look at how brilliant I am. I know that I'm not. I know that I need help. I know that I need answers. I know that I need to surround myself with a bunch of people that are in search of answers, because there's always a little something that I learned that helps me just a little bit. And if I do that on a regular basis, then what I'm doing will improve. That is faith to me, and that is the act of faith to me. It is not being on my knees in servitude to an ancient myth. And as far as being on your knees to an ancient myth, I have a question for like people who are really Christian in doing this. Once you realize that what your religion is a cultural expression, then the question I have for you is, how can we be so preoccupied with defending an ancient cultural expression and improve our own culture? It cannot happen. If it could happen, it would have already happened. And this is so, it's leading into something else where I wanted to say, why are black atheists so damn pissed off? Why are atheists, why do we seem mad? Now, I promise to do that later. But the reason, just basically, why I could see atheists as being seen as angry, it is not because we're angry with an imaginary being. It is because we see the opportunity lost of coming together collectively just for the sake of turning our minds and our heads and looking backwards into somebody else's tradition and thinking that it's going to make a damn bit of difference in our lives. That gets me pissed. We're better than this. And the plain truth is, the idea of coming together to recite magic words in furtherance of a tradition that has been 2,000 years old, that has been proven scientifically wrong over and over and over and over again, that should be embarrassing. It should be embarrassing. And if you are a practitioner of one of these things and say, oh wow, I really mean it, then you should be open to learning new things that actually help people. If you are so hung up with your book, then you're a fucking crook. That's the truth. That book has been proven wrong from beginning to end. There is no point. There is no point of searching through there to find some fucking rationalization. It's a waste of everybody's time. And once you realize that the person who's coming to you to talk in magical terms because they've read this magic book and said the magic words, because you gotta believe in magic if you believe in this stuff, you get angry. You ask, why are you wasting my friggin' time? I believe that we should call atheists and agnostics free thinkers. I think we should call them thinkers. Because if the only thing you do is regurgitate the BS that you've read, you're not thinking. All right? Fair enough? Now, there has to be a space created within our community where we can think in terms of continual improvement as a community to come together. We cannot come into this space saying that we know all the things. We don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. But when we come together, we get a little better. And if we can share the little distinctions, if they're true and they're correct, well, then it'll work in that person, it'll work on the East Coast, the West Coast. It will work in Ghana. It'll work in South Africa. It'll work in Brazil. Because as far as collectivism and where we have been as a people culturally, I absolutely believe in the idea that black folks came here before Columbus. I absolutely believe in the idea that African Americans arrived on this shore before Columbus. There's history books that say that, but that's not the most important thing. I believe in the idea that genius is not limited to from without our community. It's within our community. And our community is more than just our block. It is this nation as well as South America and Africa. So I do have a Pan-Africanist belief system or thought process. But it doesn't involve ancient text and fairy tales. It's a belief that we can work in continuous improvement, we can continually improve ourselves, and we can continually improve our culture. We can continually improve a business process. And when we find those pieces, those distinctions that help us improve, that improvement won't work just for me in America. It'll work everywhere in the world if it's true. And so again, this is about spiritualism, collectivism, and how it affects what that means for me as a thinker. All right. I think that about covers it. Thanks again. You have a great day.